Okay, so if you've been anywhere near Instagram lately, you've probably noticed something interesting happening with Kandi Burruss. Girl dropped Tucker from her Instagram handle like it was a hot potato, and suddenly nobody's seeing that wedding ring on her finger anymore. And listen, the internet detectives are working overtime right now because this marriage, it's giving shaky vibes. Actually, scratch that. People are saying it's been shaky from the jump. We just didn't want to see it. Like, we all thought they were solid, right? The power couple, the business empire, the blended family, but now everyone's looking back like, wait, were the red flags there the whole time? Spoiler alert, they absolutely were. But before we get into the current tea and all the messy details happening right now, we need to rewind all the way back to where this whole thing started. Because honey, the foundation of this relationship, questionable from day one. Like, if this was a house, the inspection would have failed. So buckle up, because we're about to go deep into the timeline, the drama, the allegations, and all the moments that led us to where we are today. So let's go back to 2011. Kandi's doing her thing on Real Housewives of Atlanta, living her best life, being iconic, and Todd Tucker is working behind the scenes as a production manager. Now, here's where it gets messy. It wasn't even Kandi who noticed him first. It was Phaedra Parks. Yes, that Phaedra. The same Phaedra who would later have her own falling out with Kandi. But back then, she was playing Cupid. She literally met Todd, thought he'd be perfect for Kandi, and basically pushed him to shoot his shot. Like, she was out here doing matchmaking services for free. And you know what? He did shoot his shot, but was it genuine interest or was it strategic? Because that's the question we need to keep in our back pocket. Fast forward to the cast trip to South Africa. This is where things really kicked off. Todd and Kandi are spending time together, vibing, getting close, and you can see the chemistry starting to build. They come back to Georgia, and it's giving casual situationship energy. You know the vibe, hanging out, texting, keeping things light. But Kandi, being the boss she is, wasn't about to play games or waste her time. She wanted to know, are we doing this for real? Or are we just messing around? She put her cards on the table and basically said, what is this? And Todd decided to commit. Or at least that's what he said. But girl, actions speak louder than words, and we're about to get into all of that. Now here's the thing. There was a whole rule on set about cast members not dating crew. Like, it was literally against policy. So Kandi basically told Todd, look, if you want this to work and you want us to go public, you gotta quit your job. And she didn't just leave him hanging. She sweetened the deal. She talked about building an empire together, elevating him, giving him opportunities he wouldn't have otherwise. She was essentially saying, I'm going to put you on and we're going to win together. Todd resigned from his position, and just like that, they became an official power couple in the public eye. But girl, was it really about love, or was it about opportunity, access, and a lifestyle upgrade? Because that's where Todd's ex-girlfriend Mila comes into the picture. And honey, she had a lot to say. Mila. Oh, Mila. This woman came out of nowhere and just dropped a whole bomb on the internet. According to her, she was dating Todd right before Kandi entered the scene. And Todd apparently had a lot to say about Miss Kandi behind closed doors. Allegedly, and I'm saying allegedly because we weren't in the room, Todd called Kandi a trick, like a literal trick. He said he didn't even like her music or her voice, which is wild because Kandi is a Grammy-winning songwriter and artist. He allegedly said he only liked her body, not her face, not her personality, not her talent, just her body. Like, sir, if that's true, that is beyond foul. That's disrespectful on every level. Mila also claims Todd was using Kandi for clout and celebrity access, and even after he officially got with Kandi, he was still sliding into Mila's DMs, talking about how much he missed her. Like, the audacity, the disrespect. If these allegations are true, this man was playing a whole game from the beginning. But okay, let's keep the timeline moving. Because in 2013, Todd proposed. New Year's Day, 2-carat ring, very romantic, right? Us Weekly reported that Kandi's daughter Riley was totally on board and supportive of the engagement. But Mama Joyce? Oh, Mama Joyce had thoughts.
You know what Riley told me?
Oh, Lord.
You better talk with her about her opinion.
Okay, Mama.
She don't want to say nothing to make you unhappy, but she do not really like Todd.
And she wasn't keeping them to herself. She came out and said Riley wasn't actually happy about it, that the whole Riley approves narrative was false, and she hated that ring. Like, publicly dragged the engagement ring, said it wasn't good enough, wasn't impressive enough. And honestly, that was just the beginning of Mama Joyce's full-blown campaign against Todd Tucker. Because what happened next was absolute chaos. So let's talk about the prenup, because this is where things get really spicy and where you start to see the power dynamic dynamics at play. Kandi, being the businesswoman she is, drafted a prenup that was, let's just say, ironclad. No alimony whatsoever. If they split up, Todd has to pack his bags and leave the house within 30 days. Like, it's giving protect the bag at all costs. And honestly, I don't blame her. She worked hard for everything she has. But here's the question everyone should have been asking from the jump. Why would Todd agree to that? What was in it for him? Because it definitely wasn't financial security. So was it the lifestyle, the access, the fame, the connections? What made him willing to sign away any claim to her assets? Plot twist, Todd didn't want to sign it at first. He flat out refused. He rejected the prenup and said he wasn't doing it. And Mama Joyce, she absolutely lost her mind. She went on a full press tour dragging this man. She called him an opportunist, said Kandi stepped herself down to be with him, accused him of not being a provider, and even threw Kandi's assistant Carmen under the bus by claiming Carmen and Todd were sleeping together. Like, she went there. She took the family drama to the press, aired out all the dirty laundry, and it became this huge public spectacle. And then Todd's mom, Miss Sharon, got involved, and it turned into a full-blown family feud. It was uncomfortable to watch, honestly. But here's where it gets even messier, if you can believe that. On their wedding day, April 4th, 2014, Todd signed that prenup at the last minute. Like, we're talking right before they walked down the aisle. Imagine the tension. Mama Joyce showed up to the wedding, but you know she was tight about it. You could feel the energy through the screen. The whole wedding aired on the spin-off Special Kandi's Wedding, and it was beautiful on the surface, but underneath, tension. And after the fact, Todd admitted in interviews and on the show that he felt hurt by the prenup. He felt like it was a message that Kandi didn't fully trust him or see him as an equal partner. And girl, their intimacy after the wedding, it tanked. Like months after they got married, they were barely even connecting physically or emotionally. That prenup did some serious psychological damage to their relationship. Think about it from a psychological standpoint. Todd's ego was bruised. He's feeling like he's not on equal footing, like he's being seen as less than, like he has to constantly prove himself just to be worthy of being Kandi's husband. That kind of dynamic breeds resentment. And Kandi, she's feeling emotionally distant because he's pulling away. She's probably wondering why he's acting different, why the passion is gone, why things feel off. It becomes this vicious cycle where neither person is getting what they need. The prenup was supposed to be protection for Kandi's assets, but it ended up feeling like rejection for Todd, and that resentment, it festered. Now let's talk about the kids and how Parenthood added even more strain. Their son Ace was born in January 2016, and their daughter Blaze came via surrogate in November 2019. But here's the thing. Todd had a really hard time bonding with Blaze. There was this emotional disconnect that just kept growing, and instead of addressing it, instead of working through it, Todd started going out. Like, he was hitting the clubs, staying out late, living his best nightlife even right after the holidays when he should have been home with his newborn daughter. And when Kandi confronted him about it, when she asked why he was avoiding the family, Todd said Kandi wasn't giving him attention. He said he felt neglected. Sir, you have a whole newborn baby at home, and you're out here acting like you're single because you're not getting enough attention? That's not how this works. That's avoidance. That's running away from your responsibilities because you feel inadequate or unseen. But instead of communicating that like an adult, he chose to party. Oh, and let's not forget about the New Jersey condo situation, because this is messy. Todd owns property with an ex-girlfriend. Like, they co-own a condo together, and whenever he's in New York for work or business, that's where he stays, at the condo with the ex. Now, Kandi expressed that she was worried he might cheat. And honestly, girl, I don't blame you for having that concern, because the optics alone are bad. But then Portia, Kandi's sister, dropped an even bigger bomb. She claimed that Todd was allegedly hooking up with women and using the fake name Marvin. Like, the creativity is lacking, but the audacity is strong. If that's true, this man was living a whole double life. At this point, the marriage isn't even a marriage anymore. It's a business partnership. It's a brand. It's content for the show. But the love, the intimacy, the emotional connection, gone. They filmed a therapy session that aired on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it was painful to watch. Todd admitted that business success doesn't make him happy, that he feels constant pressure to prove himself, that he feels like Kandi doesn't make time for the family. Meanwhile, Kandi's sitting there feeling like she's carrying everything, the businesses, the kids, the household, the finances, and and Todd's out here complaining that he doesn't feel seen. It's giving mismatched priorities. It's giving two people who are on completely different pages. And then, because apparently things weren't messy enough already, Kandi admitted on the show that they've been having threesomes, plural. Like, this has been a recurring thing, including within the last 6 months before she made that statement. Now, listen, no judgment on what consenting adults do in their relationship. That's their business. But here's the thing. When you're using threesomes as relationship CPR, as a way to bring excitement back into a dying marriage, that's not a solution, babe. That's a distraction. You're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. You're bringing in external stimulation to cover up the fact that the foundation is crumbling. It might create temporary excitement, but it's not addressing the real issues. The resentment, the lack of communication, the emotional distance, the trust issues. So now we're at November 17th, 2025, and this is where everything comes full circle. Kandi shows up to BravoCon solo. No Todd in sight, no ring on her finger. Tucker has been scrubbed from her Instagram name. She hasn't posted a photo of Todd in months. And if you go to Todd's social media, it's giving divorced dad energy. Like, he's posting the kids, posting motivational quotes about growth and moving forward, but it's giving, I'm out here on my own now. The writing is on the wall, and it's written in bold. Here's the tea. And I'm just going to say it. The signs that Todd wasn't fully in this have been there for years. From the very beginning, the chemistry always felt a little forced. The connection always seemed transactional. The love always looked conditional. And Kandi, she deserves someone who loves her unconditionally, not someone who sees her as a come-up, not someone who allegedly trash-talked her to his ex, not someone who needs threesomes, nightlife, and fake names to feel alive in the marriage if they do divorce. And honestly, it wouldn't be surprising at all. Maybe that's actually what they both need. Maybe they can co-parent peacefully, heal individually, work on themselves separately, and who knows, maybe down the line, after some real growth and distance, they reconnect as better versions of themselves. Or maybe they realize they're better apart, that they were never really compatible in the way that matters. Either way, it's time to stop pretending this was ever the fairy tale it was sold as. This was a business merger that happened to include marriage, and now it looks like the contract might be up. So what do y'all think? Was this marriage doomed from the start, or did they just lose their way along the journey? Were the red flags always there, or are we just seeing them clearly now in hindsight? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I know y'all have opinions. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because we're covering all the tea, all the drama, all the celebrity mess. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.